Good evening and welcome to Inside Government for the fall 2018 semester here at Cayuga Community College. This is a show that is broadcast on Spectrum, Verizon, Fios, the Auburn Regional Media Access, better known as ARMA, as well as WDWN, the college's radio station. I'm your host, Guy Cosentino. It has been a busy summer for downtown Auburn, with Major Palooza kicking off the summer in May, Founders Day in August, and Tomato Fest in September. At the same time, there has been massive construction work, if you haven't noticed, in the downtown Genesee Street area going out west, as well as the construction of a new visitor center next to Seward House. This summer, the city also received a notice that they are the third round winner of the Downtown Revitalization Initiative, better known as the DRI, of $10 million. Joining us in the studio today to talk about all of that, as well as what is going on in downtown in the coming weeks, is the director of the Auburn Downtown Business Improvement District, Stephanie DeVITO. Welcome back and congratulations on the $10 million.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me again.
So for those, and you said again, so for those who don't know, the bid is what?
So the bid is a state-sanctioned non-for-profit organization that is basically is a boundary area of the downtown district, and the boundary lines go from west to east. It's the County Building and Plaza of the Arts to the Goodyear Building up on the East Hill, and then also from north to south. It's the Holiday Inn and the Subway shop is the cutoff, and Seward Park on the south end, and everything that encompasses around the loop is considered the bid boundary district area.
And you're funded, you're a tax district, so
we are, yep. Yeah. So our revenue is generated by the businesses that are actually it's the property owners that are in that bid boundary district, and they are assessed at $3 per 1,000 on their assessed tax annually with a $5,000 cap. So a lot of people think that we're a membership.
Is it cap per building or
cap per building?
Per building.
Per
okay.
building. A lot of folks, they think that we're a membership organization, so I try to explain them that we are not a membership organization.
But you will take their checks.
Well, no.
Well, but most of your money comes from either contracts or through your
correct, or through the taxes that they're assessed on their tax for being in that bid boundary district.
And while you're not a membership organization, your board of directors is a mix of by specific individuals. There's some government representatives,
correct.
Some business representative,
yes.
Property owners, and then aren't there some residents as well?
Yes. Yep.
So how large a board do you have?
We have a board of 15. We have a very strong board. We can pretty much have as many as we want, but we are bound by having at least 15 on the board.
So with the exception of your new staffer, who is going to start, I'm assuming this month, or
yes.
if they have not started, leave that person out for that.
Okay.
We'll get to her in the end.
Sure.
How big a staff do you have?
We are 3.
3, okay.
But in the seasonal part of the year, basically May through October 15th, we have a seasonal staff. So this year we added 2 additional seasonal staff folks to particularly take care and maintain the flowers during the summer months.
And so if you had to summarize what the BID's mission is, what is it?
BID's mission is to advocate for all the businesses that are in the downtown district. We're kind of like a liaison between the businesses and the city. We like to consider ourselves like we're an arm of the city, but we try to generate incoming businesses, help people find space for new businesses. We advocate for them. We try to expand the existing businesses that are already in the downtown district. We promote them, we market them. Anything along the advertising sector, we also help them with that as well.
So, while the mission is one thing, active items that you are doing, though, is you've got the flowers, you're working on events down there, you're advertising.
Yes.
Are those the 3 main
yes.
areas that you...
Yes.
Okay, so you've had a busy summer. I mentioned some of the events. What were the big events so far this year in 2018 before we get to what's coming up?
Sure. So we started out, of course, with the city Memorial Day Parade. We had the food truck rodeo down on Loop Road, as well as the Kids Carnival from the Blueprint Group. They joined us this year. So that happened on Memorial Day weekend. Then we had Major Palooza. That was right before Memorial Day Parade. Then we started our Music on the Mall. We had 6 of them this year. Last year we had 4, so we added 2 this year, which are all located on State Street. We then jumped into Summer Sizzlin', which is kind of the kickoff. The city puts that on as their kickoff to the summer event. Then we had Founders Day.
So what's Summer Sizzlin'? I'm sorry.
Summer Sizzlin' is a city event that we have on Exchange Street, and it's kind of like a kickoff to all the summer activities. So there's a lot of vendors that are on Exchange Street. There's music.
Okay.
This year was the first sidewalk chalk drawing contest that the city had, which was extremely successful. So, you know, we hope to have that again next year. So it's kind of a kickoff to the summer, is what that Summer Sizzlin' event is. Then we have Founders Day, which is, you know, the car show. We have the bike show. This year we had an ethnic festival, which was our theme. And then also, I mentioned the Kids Carnival for Memorial Day was actually tacked on to Founders Day for the Blueprint Group. So they were down in Market Street Park, as well as Unity House has their art fair on Exchange Street. So it was very busy with music, entertainment, and all of that for Founders Day. Also, we have Tomato Fest, which we just wrapped up with that, you know, about a month ago. And then we have Gobble and Go, which is on October 13th, which is sponsored by the Auburn Education Foundation.
Okay, so before we go to the, how were you weather for the most part cooperated? I think there was a little bit of rain at the end of Major Palooza, but for the most part you had really good weather.
Weather was fantastic this year.
And were the crowds what you expected, or did you have more than you expected?
We had more than we expected, and I think I'll take Founders Day, for example. You know, it's one of the biggest city's events of the year. You know, the weather was fantastic, and there were more cars, I think, than they ever had registered. I think there was close to 350 cars that were registered for the event. Then you took in part the Ethnic Festival, and, you know, we had a proge eating contest. We had ethnic bands that were playing. We had a polka band, and we had an Irish Celtic band. So I think between the combination of the weather, the diversity of things that we had going on for the actual event really drew in a huge crowd this year.
And when you do that, is there any, because you don't have a single point of access for any of these events, is there any idea how many people do you get a count?
Well, I mean, typically we've had in the past, I mean, we could have upwards of, you know, 1,000, 1,500 people, you know, and again, it does depend on the weather, not just rain. If it's too hot and humid, people tend to kind of stay indoors where it's cool. But, you know, we kind of gauge by about that number. If it's very successful, it's about 1,000 people that we bring downtown.
And so you mentioned you have Gobble and Go this coming, while this will show over the weekend, it is next Saturday the 13th.
Correct, yep,
and
October
what is
13th.
that? What is, I know we had Jenny Hutchinson, Bonnie Blair on 2 weeks ago. What is Gobble and Go for who don't know about it?
So Gobble and Go, it's a fundraiser for the Auburn Education Foundation. And, you know, they raise funds to help support and enrich the educational experience for students, as well as they participate and fund the you know, Hall of Fame.
So you buy tickets to this?
Buy tickets for this.
And what do you get?
You get a wristband, and there's several participating restaurants and venues that are participating in the event. So you can, once you obtain your wristband, you can go to any restaurant. You can start wherever you'd like.
Right, so you can be at Burger Theory, you can be at
Prison City, you can
Parker's,
go to Wally's, wherever you choose to go. And then you can end back down at the Knights of Columbus if you'd like.
And they have an end of the event. I think we said it was 1 to 5.
Yes.
Okay. And how much are tickets?
$25. You can purchase them online at the Auburn Education Foundation through PayPal. You can buy them at the Auburn bid office. So plenty of opportunities to purchase them.
And it's very easy to do it online if you can't get down to do that. So. Holiday parade, Christmas parade this year?
Yes,
when?
Absolutely. That will be the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so that's the 24th, I believe, this year.
But it's a Saturday, not the Friday like it was many, many years ago.
It's always the Saturday after Thanksgiving, so that will take place again at 6 o'clock.
Anything different this year than in the past?
Yes, actually, with Miracle on Genesee Street, the parade will remain the same. We're getting participants already. So we look for it to be very full. Last year we had, I think, probably more participants than ever in the parade.
70,000 fire trucks. You had a lot of fire trucks.
We did have a lot of fire trucks.
I think every town and village in a three-county area.
But I'll tell you what, you know, every little child, every little kid's expressions on their face.
I'm not just saying you had a lot of fire trucks.
Yes, yes. But hopefully we will have some,
Well, you do have a lot of other participants.
We do have other participants.
But there are a
lot of fire trucks, yes.
Gotcha.
And we welcome them.
And so what is the Miracle on Genesee Street part of it?
Yeah, so Miracle on Genesee Street, which is primarily over the last couple of years kind of been contained to Exchange Street and APT. This year, in regards to the Equal Rights Heritage Center grand opening, we're going to be moving Miracle on Genesee Street over to the green space of the Equal Rights Heritage Center. Perform for Purpose is going to be our featured band this year. They're going to be playing from 3 until 6 outdoors.
They'll be here in a few minutes, right?
Oh,
after
yeah, okay, good. They're a wonderful group of kids. They're
and
such
they play
a
for a lot of your downtown
they
events.
do. Very
I
much
saw them
so.
at Tomato Fest, I saw them at Major Palooza.
Yes.
I know they do Art in the Park, and we'll talk about that with them in
We're
next
very
half hour.
fortunate to have them. I mean, they're a huge partner, and we really appreciate everything that they do.
So events will be there, rain, shine, or snow?
Rain or shine or snow, and also we're going to bring back the ever so famous horse and wagon rides.
Okay.
So what we're going to do is kind of do a triangular little ride for them, starting at City Hall, go up to Seward Park, focus around the Equal Rights Heritage Center, Seward House, and then back down to the Equal Rights Heritage Center on the corner.
And those are free, or is there a
those
cost?
are free.
Okay.
Yep, those are free. So there'll be wagon rides, there'll be music. We will have a food truck there with food, hot tea, cocoa, desserts.
And does that finish off, for most part, your 2018 events?
Yes.
Other than, I know
Yes.
you do music, which I think is great.
Yes.
Downtown, you wire downtown, and people drive down there. They're going to hear music outside, and but that ends your season for the most part.
Yes, that ends the season, and then we start all over again in January for May.
Okay. So one of the, I did get one viewer question. They love these, and they just were wondering how they come about. Are the colored lights on the light poles? And usually they are recognizing colorectal cancer research, or I think this month might be domestic violence.
It is.
How do they come about? Is that something the bid coordinates, or is that the city?
So with the white lights that you see up there that are all year round, and I just want to mention we're just now probably completing the entire district with brand new lights, so you'll see them nice and bright.
Okay.
They do the life on them is just about 3 years, and they start to get dim, so we replaced almost all of them in the district. So those are provided through bid, and it's through the Flower Power program that we raise funds and all to purchase those lights to have them up all year
So
round.
if somebody wants to do a specific color, they go through you?
Well,
or?
what happens in regards to the color, so yes, so right now, the last couple of days, the purple lights have been going up, and those are in showing support of domestic violence. So those are coordinated.
Domestic violence awareness, not support of
yeah, exactly. Domestic violence awareness, correct, yes. But those are coordinated through the individual agencies.
Okay.
So like domestic violence, they would contact.
So they have to pay for this, or?
You know, they don't have to pay bid, and right. I don't think there's
So
a
are these
cost
lights
for that.
all one color, or do you have a system where you can change the colors without changing the wiring?
No, you have to add them. You have to add the purple lights to the white lights.
So literally,
has to go up and string them. And we've been fortunate. The Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office does help us out with that. They have the inmates come and string the lights on the poles. So that's very helpful.
So wanted to switch to the other news that there's two other news pieces we're going to talk about. One is the DRI, the Downtown Revitalization. What is it?
It's the downtown revitalization, which, as you mentioned in your opening statement, we were the lucky winner of the $10 million initiative. So what that is, it's funding that will be for several projects, projects that were already currently in the application that was submitted, to win.
So are there more projects in the application than $10 million? They total beyond $10 million.
I was just going to say, they could, and also I want to make a point too, is that any of the applications that are currently in the grant application or the DRI does not necessarily mean that those projects will eventually come to fruition, as well as there's an open proposal for people to submit projects during this month, with November 2nd being the deadline, that folks who are interested in that process could also submit projects that they'd like to propose.
So at least as far as you're concerned, and I know they have not designed what downtown is. The downtown map may not be exactly what the bid map is, correct?
Correct. That is correct.
So you'd like it to stick that way?
Of course, I'd love everything to
Okay.
be downtown.
Okay,
But
no, but you'd like to have it in the bid map, so.
sure, yes.
Because when the map was designed 20 years ago, some places like Court Street were cut out because there was
Sure.
opposition
Sure,
from some of
sure.
the property owners there.
Sure.
So, and you have to get a percentage of so many property owners to agree to a bid.
Correct. Yes.
So, from your perspective of items that are in the bid area, what are some of the projects that you've seen that I like those?
Sure. Some of the things that are currently in the bid, the DRI application that was submitted were, of course, on 1 to 7 State Street. The Callet site, as people refer that to, is, creating some sort of a public, green space for that area. So I'd like to see that come to fruition. We've also had 99 Genesee Street that was also in the event application, which is
What
the
is that?
Rudolph building.
Okay.
That is, yep. So
That's
that,
across from the APT.
correct.
Okay.
Yes. And then also APT is one of the projects that is in that DRI to expand, APT into a cafe and expand their business. So there's several projects in there that are definitely downtown related. But I have to say, as much as I would love for them to be downtown, I also see the need for the expansion as well. Like, creating the art campus that kind of shifts down to the west end to incorporate it all into downtown.
In Schweinfurt.
Correct, yes. That would be nice, as well as East Hill Medical. I mean, they are in the bid district. So I think there is a need to be able to expand to tie everybody in together.
So what does East Hill Medical have in their, what is their project?
East Hill Medical, I think they're just going to expand, and maybe even structurally what they do,
Okay.
in their
And then you
particular
obviously
business.
have the firehouse.
Yes, the firehouse, that would be correct.
And do you see that as being, even though that may not necessarily be in the bid area, it is downtown because they've talked about it in the area by Safeway on Seminary. Do you see
Right.
that as something that, because you're a member of this committee, am I correct?
Correct, yes.
You're a governor's appointee?
Yes, state
Okay.
appointee, yeah.
State appointee. So do you see that as something that may, shift to the higher priority because it is so expensive?
I think everything is looked at equally, as far as what the actual need is for each individual project, and really what kind of projects are really technically shovel ready, to be implemented is also what we're looking for. But I definitely know that there's the need for that particular service to.
So I'll come back to the DRI. You said something a minute ago with the idea of the cafe at APT, and you've also had, while you've had some new businesses, which we'll talk about coming in, you've also had 2 restaurants in the last month who have made announcements that are not good for downtown. One has been the Copper Pig on East Hill. They closed, I think, in fact, they closed last week.
Yes.
First of all, are there any plans for that building? Do you know?
My understanding is that there was a couple of folks that are interested in continuing some sort of restaurant business in that space. So, we look forward to it possibly staying what it is and maybe just under new management, or there's the potential that somebody else, is going to have a different type of restaurant in there. So, from what I've been told, is that it's not going to become a vacant building, that, it will continue to be some sort of restaurant.
So the other one is at the other end of your bid district, and that
Yes,
is the
which would be
Patty
the
Shack.
Patty Shack, correct.
So that has gone out, like the property where the Copper Pig was, while there had been long-standing at Copper Pig, it was the Hofbrau for, I think, for multiple years. They had gone through several restaurants there. Patty Shack, I think, is the 2nd or 3rd in that particular plaza for the arts.
Yes.
What's going on there?
Well, it's hard to know 100% what exactly is going on there. I think in regards to the Patty Shack, they are a Rochester-based business. So I think my understanding is, maybe the distance between the two, and and maybe not having enough time to spend in that particular restaurant maybe contributed to that. But it's a beautiful space,
So I ask you that because are you at a point? I remember Phil Romano, who was known for Macaroni Grill and a lot of grew up in Auburn. He has always said that there's a saturation point at some point, I'm paraphrasing him, for restaurants. With these two closures, you've got others that are going strong, but you may have the APT come in with a cafe. Could you be at a saturation point where it's not, and I know you've got, we'll talk about brewers in a minute because they're going great guns. Could there be a saturation point where you are with restaurants that now the focus has really got to be on retail?
I don't think we've reached the saturation point for restaurants because I think, you know, currently what we have, I mean, there's a wide variety of food that you could get from many different restaurants, you know, so I don't think we've reached that.
You'll be able to try them all at Gobble and Go next
will,
Saturday.
you will. So I don't think we've reached a saturation point in that regards. I will agree that we definitely need to have retail, and that's something that we work on continuously every day.
And it's tough.
It's very tough. It's a tough nut to crack, and we try very hard to get retail into our community and to get the right things in our community, because you know that good old saying, you have something to offer that is good, people will come from anywhere, right? So
you've got the Kyle family doing the old Nolan's building. Have they announced what would be going in the first floors yet?
Well, my understanding as of now is that the Social Octane Coffee House is planning to be in one of those spaces as well. So as of right now, that's the only thing that I have heard that's going into that block.
So I mentioned some things that have gone out, but you've also had, since you were last on in the spring, you've had Next Chapter. Next Chapter Brewery. Go in Genesee Mall.
Yes.
I'm told that it is packed on a weekend. Is that what you expected there?
Yeah, you know what? They're doing fantastic there. The space.
Is it only alcohol, or do they serve food there?
They're going to be serving food there, so they're going to be serving some gluten-free items as well as the pizzas, the wood fire iron, what are they called?
Wood fire.
Wood fire pizzas, right? So they're going to be serving that eventually as well. But the space, if you haven't been in there, it's terrific.
It's beautiful.
You know, you can go in there and the fire is going. You can sit on a couch and read a newspaper or a book. And actually, Michelle is developing a little, like a little, I don't call it a mini library type of thing, where you know you come in, you take a book, you replace a book, and so you know a lot
Michelle being an owner.
Yes, Michelle DeLapp. Yep. So it's a nice space there. It's very, very busy.
And at the other end of, well, about a half block up, there's a beautiful new piece of art on the side of the building, but you have Good Shepherd Brewery, which opened up during the summer.
Yes.
And now they're mainly in the evening. Am I correct? They don't serve lunch or.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, but what they're doing, the last I knew, is that they are welcoming menus from other restaurants, so that if you wanted to order food, you could order food from the other restaurant and bring it on over and have it with your beverage if you would like. So.
Any other change? You mentioned Gretchen's Confectioner to me before we started. What is that?
So Gretchen's Confections is going to be a chocolate shop that is going to be opening up on the East Hill, so in between 3 Leaf Tea and the Underground Bottle Shop. They're looking to do a soft opening like the middle of October, but they are going to be a participant for Gobble and Go. So they're going to offer chocolate, pastries, coffee. I had a little sneak peek of the venue last week, and it looks beautiful in there. So we're very excited for them to come on board.
So that's some change, but one of the major changes to the bid is you're moving.
I am moving, yes.
So you are in the Lorraine building downtown, which is again across from roughly Parker's and that area. Where are you moving to? We
are moving to the Equal Rights Heritage Center, which will be 25 South Street.
And who else is moving with you?
Cuyahoga County Office of Tourism will be moving there as well.
They were here on Tuesday.
Yep.
So you are the major occupants of that building.
Yes.
But you also have a different role there.
I do. So in addition to my executive director position with BID, I'm going to be the overall operations manager of the entire facility.
And what will be going on at the facility?
Oh, many, many things. Basically, the facility is going to be the central hub for tourism in our city, our county, and in a regional area that'll be focusing on the historical and cultural sites that the area offers.
And when will you likely be moving in?
My anticipation is by the end of October, you know, possibly the first couple days into November, but we are on track as of a couple days ago in our meetings to have everything done
Do you
by
think
the
there'll
end
be
of
a ribbon
October.
cutting before you all move in?
Yes, there will be.
The governor will be here likely for that, or
Yes.
Kathy Hochul or someone.
Right, somebody will definitely be here representing,
Okay.
and we just don't have the exact date on that yet.
So what will you be responsible for in the new building?
So myself?
Well, your the bid.
The bid. So bid will remain.
Or yourself.
Yeah. Bid will remain the bid.
You're the director. It's all going to be you.
I know, I know. So bid remains the bid. You know, we will still continue to do everything that bid does. We're just going to be in a different location. I myself, you know, will continue what I do as executive director, but in regards to the Equal Rights Heritage Center, I will oversee the entire center. So we just recently, we welcomed Courtney Casper. She's the Visitor Experience Manager.
And so she's your new employee.
So she's my new employee, who is a bid employee, and she will be the manager of the daily operations of the center.
And what is her background?
Her background, she has been an editor. She worked for CNY Women. She has a lot of marketing, promotional background. She's has knowledge on the historical site. She's written and edited a book on Harriet Tubman. So she has a lot of knowledge about what we already do here in our community, and you know, really great marketing and promotional skills.
And we'd like to have you both back on in the spring semester to talk about this. Because by that time you might have 2 months under your belt.
Yes.
How long is your contract with the city?
It is until the end of June, so June of 2019.
So it's only a one-year contract.
Well, technically it's a 9-month contract.
Okay.
Because we entered in that contract on October 1st, so it'll be 9 months.
And how much are they paying you for the 9 months?
It'll be $90,000 for the 9 months.
Is it your expectation that once you get through the shakedown cruise, that the bid will be the manager for the long term?
I'm hoping so, but you know, that's why we intended to have a shorter contract to initially start out with, just so that we see how things are working. You know, as we know, it's all new to everybody, and we'll reevaluate it as time gets closer. But yes, that is my definite anticipation to do that.
And just finally, what do you hope the Visitor Center will do for Auburn and Cuyahoga County?
My anticipation is for the center to continue to, bring our community together. Bring in our community that is interested in all our historical and cultural sites that we have, as well as tourists. We are a destination. We want to continue to be a destination, and I think this is a great opportunity for eventually, with the Shines Theater opening up, the Equal Rights Heritage Center, all the history that we offer and all the cultural and entertainment venues that we have in our community, we'll really highlight what we are. So it'll be that hub that we can send people out into the community and in the region.
So an exciting time for you.
It's a very exciting time, and I'm thrilled, and I can't wait to get over there and see what all the great things it has to bring to our community.
Our guest has been Stephanie DeVITO, the Director of the Auburn Downtown Business Improvement District. We want to thank her for giving us an update on downtown, what's going on with the DRI and the Visitor Center, and we would love to have you back in February to tell us with Ms. Casper what's going on at the center, because by that time you'll hopefully have stuff up on the walls.
Oh, most definitely. They'll be up on the walls before the end of October.
We'll be back in a moment with Beyond the Front Page show with our Perform for Purpose group. Jim Van Arsdale and 3 of his performers will be with us to talk about their efforts. We heard a little bit about them just a moment ago from Ms. DeVITO. Just a programming note, we're starting next week through the end of October our candidate forums, co-sponsored by the Citizen. On Tuesday the 9th, the race to replace Assemblyman Bob Oakes with Democrat Scott Comegee and Republican Brian Mantecalau will be here. And then next Thursday we'll have a forum for the 51st Senate District between incumbent James Seward and his challenger Joyce St. George. We'll return in November with regular Inside Government and Beyond the Front Page shows. You can always let us know what your thoughts are on that by telling us who you'd like to have as a guest or questions you'd like to have us ask by contacting us at cozguitho@aol.com or at Beyond the Front Page, 141 Dunning Avenue, Auburn, New York, 13021. I'm Guy Cosentino for Cuyahoga Community College. We want to thank you for watching. We hope you stick around to hear a little bit about Perform for Purpose.